Here, NHS waiting times are down, crime figures are down, more schools meeting government targets. At least, that's what the statistics say, but not, it seems, with much accuracy. The National Audit Office has found that waiting times for elective surgery are based on wrong and incompetent recording. Those education figures reveal some schools are hiding bad results, and police chiefs have already admitted fiddling their arrest figures to meet crime reduction targets. So, can we trust any of them? Porrick O'Brien has been finding out.
The ideal first. Reliable statistics clearly presented so that the citizen can make informed choices about public services. A couple of years ago, the Education Secretary, Michael Gove, speaking about league tables, nodded at that famous operatic insurance ad. You know the one. He encouraged parents to go compare. My challenge, go and make an interesting piece of telly about statistics and the citizen. We became quite desperate.
Go compare, go compare. We start with hospitals today, but here's the thing. Today the National Audit Office, today completely threw a spanner in the works.
According to the National Audit Office, patients in England can't rely on data about waiting times for things like knee and hip replacements. They found inconsistent recording after a review of over 600 cases in 7 health trusts.
Let us focus our attention now on crime. Just last week, the Stats watchdog again completely threw a spanner in the works.
Last week, the UK Statistics Authority said it could no longer approve crime figures based on information recorded by the police. It removed its kite mark. The move doesn't affect the reliability of the crime survey, though, which is the other official measure. And today, its results show that crime is indeed continuing to fall. But the whole thing hasn't done much for our relationship with the official stat.
Which begs the question, what is the point? Is it lies, damned lies, or statistics, who can tell?
The new official statistics watchdog can, and there's evidence that it's throwing its weight around a little bit more recently. But like any relationship, our one with the official stat takes work.
You can't be against information, but you can be discriminating about which information you accept. The obligation for me is on the producers of the data to make them as fit for purpose as possible. And I think the Statistics Authority is doing a lot of good work trying to make that happen. And I'm afraid on journalists, there's a lot more data about, and journalists are going to have to get a lot better at doing it.
But does it matter, really matter? Does anyone actually look at stats or really care?
The 80s and 90s were the golden age of stat collection, the growth of the administrative state, a drive for targets and measuring outcomes. But has the electorate had enough of the stat blizzard?
There's no going back to the kind of secret garden of public services where you don't know anything about what's happening in them, where there's no data published, there's no sort of accountability through statistics. But there's definitely a drive now to say that all went too far, and what we need is a more relational public service approach where people do have the space to relate better to those they're serving, to form relationships with them to meet their needs, and not to look upwards all the time to Whitehall and to the data gatherers and the target setters.
Independently verified.
So a more meaningful relationship with the reliable, clearly presented state statistic.
Clearly present their stats so we all can go compare.
Exactly 100% of our Tenors audience liked the idea.